Hello, this is Timothy Harvey, and this is the first section of our level, the power plant. At the beginning, the player will get a message from Bass saying that they need to receive a high voltage spark plug to repair one of their generators. The player will need to use a boulder to break down the front doors because they are locked. Unfortunately, the next pair of doors are completely barred shut and fortified. They won't be able to break them down by normal means, so they'll have to find another way around. They can use a piece of debris nearby to lower down a ladder and climb it. Once the player gets inside, they realize that the power is off and they'll have to bring it back in order to get inside the main office. Right here is the arc jumper. This is going to be used to jumpstart the power in one of the three sections at a time and allow the player to enter the main office once all three sections are powered up. Once the arc jumper is installed in a section, the lights will begin to turn on, but they won't be full power until this power gets stabilized. The first section has a simple puzzle by placing two heavy metal boxes on three pressure plates, and the third pressure plate needs to be activated by the player once the other two are activated. Now the second box is in place, you can step on the third switch and stabilize the power in this section of the plant. As you can see, the lights are much brighter and the arc jumper can be used to bring to the next area. Once the power is jumped in this area, the player finds out that they need to repair a terminal by finding a power pack and a repair kit. The power pack is right next to the terminal, and it just needs to be installed. The repair kit is on the other side of these deadly arc gates. If the player is hit by any of these arc gates, they'll take damage very quickly, but they can use a repair health kit on the other side. The player can access a little shortcut so that they don't have to go back through the arc gates. They can lower a ladder and hop down. Once the terminal has power and it is repaired, it will activate the second set of doors and they'll be able to take the arc jumper to the final area. Once the arc jumper is installed, they'll be able to ride the lift to the top of the area. As you can see, the bridge is out and the player will have to find another way across. In order to get across, they'll have to complete a platforming puzzle. Just like at the beginning, they need to launch some debris into a red bar on a ladder and then make a daring jump to get across. Each checkpoint of this platform puzzle is signified by a collectible in order to reward the player and give them a spot to restart from in case they fall off, like I have. As you can see, the puzzle starts getting a little bit harder and they'll have to use boxes in order to make higher jumps. Then one final jump, and then grab the ladder. Activate the final switch, which opens the last door and fully restores the power in the plant. And the player can slide down the ladder instead of climbing down. Once the player has a spark plug, they will be allowed to leave the plant, which starts the next section of the level.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Marchand, and this is my area walkthrough. First, we're going to grab this block and uncover a collectible, and then come over here and hit this switch, which will open the door to the mainframe hub, where the player has to gather the 4 missing modules to fully restore functionality to the mainframe, and then come back and interact with the lit up part, which will light a path to an opening door. This is a server room. We can run right over here and grab another collectible, and then create a path to the next one, which is also to the rest of the area. Grab some cash there, and take one of these blocks and knock down this beam, and jump down here, grab another collectible, and then create a way out for ourselves. Take this block and we'll launch it over there for a little bit later. For now, we'll grab that cash, and then we'll use this block, which is a little bit bigger than the others, to jump on top, grab our second module, use the grav null to knock this wall down, come back out here and interact with the new part of the mainframe. Lead us to some tripwires, which must be avoided. And here we can grab a block, shoot it at the switch, grab another bit of cash, and then we can do the same, except here we have to break the glass first to expose the switch, just like that. Grab another module, and then we can grab the rest of the collectibles in this area. Here's that one, and then break this glass and grab another one, and that's it for this room. You can head back out here, avoid the tripwires, and activate more functionality leading to the next room. First we can interact with this box, grab some more collectibles, and then we can take this box and launch it through the glass, hopefully, just like that. Grab that. This brings us to our bridge, which we can raise, but it also activates tripwires that move. Must be avoided. Just like that. So we get over here, we can grab another bit of cash and grab our final module. And then we can hit this switch on the way out, allowing us to return. Oh, first we can grab another collectible. And now we can interface with the last activated part of the mainframe, which will cause the ceiling to fall and leading to the exit. But first, missing one last collectible. Reward the player for a bit of exploring. That box there, and voila. Now we can run out, blast these out of the way, and leads us to transition to the next level. Thank you for watching.
Hi, yes, my name is Brian Roberts, and this is my section of the level. We start out, it's an abandoned, broken down bridge. There's no way to access it through the normal way, so what the players do is they have to find a way to, or find the entrance to the side door where they unlock the door. This side door opens up right here. There's a couple collectibles in this room, but this is supposed to be debris that you move around, and you have to use it to get across. Once you get up here, this is the attic per se, with a bunch of boxes, more rubble because it's all broken down and everything. So the player must find a way to bridge the gap. And then so you go in here, you find the wooden plank bridge. It's actually kind of throw it over there. Rubble. And you place it right here in the bridge. Get over it. And now the objective is exit the bridge. There's more collectible right there. You're good. So this is supposed to be a bunch of cars. These are all placeholder right now. It's supposed to be an abandoned street where there's a bunch of... Well, you're supposed to make your way through the traffic jam. Players gotta come up here. There's more collectibles over there. There's collectibles all throughout this area. You can crawl under here. Crouch. Then so you exit the way. On your way, there's supposed to be more turrets and stuff right here for the player to work with. They're supposed to find a way to. You're supposed to get away. There's no. Oh, you got to find a way code to enter the base. So they go back and they see the Humvee. The player must go to that Humvee to get that code card, which is where it's hidden. It's actually hidden in the passenger seat. And then, so jump over here. Jump over here. Then they jump up and get that code card right there. And the player can just jump onto the cars and go climb over it. Now they have the new objective to use the code to enter the hallway in the military base. And now this door, now that you have the card, it opens. Objective enter the hospital. And there's another collectible over here, right there. And the player enters the base.
My name is Dominic Chinosa, and this is my area, St. Clair's Hospital. We will be working on the visuals in the beta. For right now, we just wanted to get a working build going. So first, we're going to want to enter the hospital. To do that, we're just going to need to grab one of those crates. Okay. Place it right here at the start. Up on it. Up again. And crouch underneath this tripwire to enter the hospital. Once we've entered the hospital, we want to look at our objective list, and we want to open up the main lobby doors. In order to do that, we're going to need to come over to this object here, which is basically a backup generator, or SSK. And we're just going to need to place it in this room next to the power panel. Once you place it in there, you can press E on the power panel, and the doors will open. Once the doors are open, we want to make it down this hallway. Just crouch underneath these tripwires here. And then we have the option to take the elevator, or alternatively, we can take this vent shaft. There's a hidden collectible in here, so we're going to go that way and grab that collectible. There are hidden collectibles and stuff in the area before. Gotta look in the rooms, but for time's sake, I was just going to show you the cool ones. Alright, now we've reached the second floor. We can crouch underneath here, and a new objective will pop up. And basically, we just want to make it down this hallway and surpass these tripwires in front of us. In order to do that, we just gotta toss that medical crate at them, and it will be destroyed. After that, we just want to hop over this one and crouch underneath here. And now we've entered the pharmacy area. Once here, we'll see a new set of objectives pop up. We just want to hop over that tripwire there, crouch over here, and then down in that hallway to our right is the key code. So hop over that one, and key code. Once you've grabbed the key code, we can now make it to the pharmacy. And the door to the pharmacy shall now unlock. press E to unlock it. Come in here, crouch underneath these tripwires here, and crouch underneath here. Grab the antidote, and you can grab this collectible here and find the alternative like that. Please, crouch underneath here, and hop over that one. And all we need to do is press E and just go here, and we can escape the pharmacy area. Run past this tripwire there, up over this one, and once in here we'll get a new objective, and that's to break through the glass and escape the pharmacy building through the fire escape. Just need to throw this block at the glass. Glass will break, and you can come down here, and this is our transition to the next level. Trapdoor pipe, and if you turn around, right here, there's the next level.
My name is Joshua Friday, and this is the waterlogged warehouse section of the level. As you can see, you have to get across this river in order to access the warehouse. Although the water will not kill you instantly, it will do a whole lot of damage in one shot to prevent anyone from running across. You have to knock down this wall here, and although there are no objects to throw at it, it will break at a touch from the grapnel. The front area of the warehouse is mostly meant for open exploration. There's an office over there they can find your way to, which has access to 2 secret areas, as well as a red light highlighting a ladder or other areas of interest that you can use to explore these platforms and another catwalk. The main objective, however, is straight to the back. We just need to get there as quickly as we can. Back here is where you'll find the safe. Go up to it and you find out that you need to reset the power in order to open it. And when you examine the fuse box, you find that you need fuses, which activates the fuse quest and turns the fuses on, so that way it was set up like that, so that way there would not be someone collecting things too early and potentially breaking the game. Fuses can be grabbed in any order. The way I typically go is first up here off this walkway of shelves. Second fuse is located nearby inside a pile of debris. Third fuse is underneath this fallen shelf here. You crouch to go and get it, and if you stay crouched, you can actually crawl through to the other side. The fourth fuse is on this setup item, indicated by the red light. Some of the platforms that you'll be coming across will move according to the weight assigned to them. That includes the player as well as movable objects. They'll move up and down depending on which side is heavier. The final fuse is on top of a shelf. You can either do what I'm doing and climb up a shelf here to run across a provided bridge, or you can build a little wall of boxes to climb up in order to reach it. We go and activate the fuse switch over here, which opens a safe, locks the front door, triggers the lights to come on, as well as starts electrifying the water because there are a bunch of scattered open power sources throughout the level. While exploring the level, the player may have come across this ladder over here. It was previously locked by an event, but now that we have turned on the power, we can access it. If you look off to the side, you can see a faint green glow. That is the emergency exit that we need to head for. The only way is over these platforms. This is one of the moving platforms, and you need to adjust weight accordingly from side to side, or raise and lower, hoping you get across. It is best not to just throw items off to try to make it easier, because if you were to fall off, that can break the puzzle, and leave you stranded. Up here is a checkpoint in case you fall off and you die rather than having to redo it. Over here, you can either try to run and make that jump, which can be tricky, or you can lower it by throwing on some additional weight. Once you get over here, you can either try making the tricky jump to get to the higher platform, but it's highly suggested you can head for the lower. And you can either head off to this next catwalk area to look for more hidden items, or you can head straight for the exit by tossing around the weights in order to make your way easier. Unfortunately, you can see the next platform is too high up, so you're going to have to readjust the weight back the way that it was before in order to lift you back up high enough to jump it. One last set of balancing scales. And with the sextant in hand, you are able to leave the level. And you head off into the next area.
Hello everyone, my scene will be Avery's Harbor, situated as the last of our levels for Team Garlic. The first task for the player is to acquire the compass and the grapnel upgrade located on the tanker in the harbor. In order to do that, the player must first get into the bay. With the front gate being locked, the player must then find a key that they mentioned might be in the guardhouse. So once the player enters the guardhouse, they'll find the key. I will then at some point find a way to hide the key a little bit better, so the player will have to actually search for it. Once the key is acquired, the player will then be able to access the door, which will allow them to get into the bay. And once they get inside, beach ambience will play, and then they will mention they should probably walk to the pier first. There will also be an objective to reach the pier, enticing the player to reach there. Once the player reaches that, the objective will complete, and the player will mention that in order to use the boats, they must find 3 batteries for the generator. So, in order to find all the batteries for the generator, the player must search the beach for 3 batteries that will be located shining blocks. For the first battery, it will be located on top of this pile of cars, which will have the player do a little platforming puzzle, which I might complicate further in beta. And then over here, the second battery will be located under this pile of canoes. And so the player must then move the canoes with the grapnel. Once they are removed enough to get in there, the player can sneak in and grab it. And all these batteries can be collected in any order. But the player decides to go access the other side of the beach, that is perfectly fine. And the player will then run to the other side. As they're running, there will be a trigger that will mention that they will see a battery on the roof. To get up there, they will eventually notice that there will be a spot for a broken ladder here. The player will have to find the ladder, which will be on the side. The player will use the grapnel to lift the ladder and slap it into place. The player gets to the top of this roof. In order to access the next roof, they will have to use this board to cross, and then they will be able to acquire the third battery. Once acquired, the player will then be able to turn on the generator, which will power the boat mechanisms to reach the pier, or the tanker. Now all the boats are powered up, and the boats are powered forward with a little switch in the front. The boats will then move back and forth across their paths, which will allow the player to be able to go back and forth. I have 2 separate paths that both reach the tanker, but in order to collect all the objectives, the player must use both paths. But just for the playthrough, there will be destructible walls placed in front of the boats here forth. In order to move the boats forward, the player must destroy the walls with floating objects in the water. And the boats will be able to actually move. Second set of walls. Then to reach the one right over, a little bit of a skill. And in this part, the player has to duck or they'll get knocked off the boat. As you can see, the boats are traveling back and forth. Just in case the player happens to die, they will always be able to access all the piers still. This part, there will be 3 walls. So a 2-for-1 deal there. Now the boat is active. And the final stretch, 1 last boat, 3 walls, and a board that's placed attached to another pier and a pile of garbage with a collectible. The player then must duck, and they have reached the tanker. The player will then ascend the tanker, and all the while the main objective to acquire the compass and the grapnel upgrade will always be present for the player. Now 2 more judges will appear to open the tanker doors, as well as find a way to acquire the Gravenol upgrade. They will enter the bridge, and notice the compass right here to collect, as well as control tanker doors here. That will open both doors. The player will then be able to jump down into the tanker. And notice that this one giant box will have the Gravenol inside, but it will not open. In order to do so, they must follow the paths of the wires to each side of the boat where 2 switches are, and the player must then activate the switches. So the first side of the boat, there will be toxic water that will damage the player, so the player must then jump across boxes floating in the poison water. Once they reach across, access a switch, and there's a checkpoint there in case they happen to die on the way back, so they can't cheat the system and just die here and be teleported back to the middle. Then for the other side of the boat, I have a bunch of boxes, storage containers that have fallen, and so the player must then use the crouch to get through. And once the player reaches the next switch, get back quicker. I've created a little stepping area so the player can just jump across the boxes, as well as there will be a collectible up here to acquire, so that's the only way to acquire that. And then the player will then be able to open the Gravenol upgrade container and acquire it. Once the Gravenol is acquired and the compass is acquired, one final objective will appear to make a great escape. Once the player climbs out of the tanker, there will be one last area at the end of the tanker with a exit zip line that will not be activated until the player has both the compass and the Gravenol. So the player will then access this ladder to climb up and jump into the box, which will then slide all the way down and level complete. Ta-da!